time. It's coming your way from McMorran Place. Gonzalez to the net, eaten up by Cooper. He looked behind him, and they score. Port Huron is hot about this one. LaBelle winds, sent it through, he scores. Prowlers on the big hill here. Puck got through Ratcliffe. Here comes Price short-handed. He scores! Bobby Price, the shorty, has flipped the momentum. Simmons Fisher got through for Welsh. He scores! Shrine guys showing up for Port Huron. We're all tied up. Lockney makes a look down low. Johnson, he scores! Alex Johnson, top shelf, has given the Prowlers their first lead of the night. Morgan, in front, score! Reggie Millette! Prowlers with 5 unanswered! Down 2-0 in the second. They rally back to score 6 unanswered and take game number 1. Prowlers head to Danbury with a chance for their first playoff series victory in 7 years.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back to Danbury. Prowlers and Hat Tricks getting set for game number 2. And the Prowlers trying to scratch them up and earn the series victory. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. They're announcing the entire Hat Tricks roster for the playoffs in the background. So just in case you hear public address announcer, but let's get you started for tonight's game. We take a look back at game 1 last night, a 6-3 win for the Port Huron Prowlers, but certainly there was a point in that game where it looked like they might not get any. Connor McCullum was fantastic to start. Hat Tricks jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the second. They got a power play seconds later. That's where the momentum flipped. And it was one of the new collegiate signings that got it done. Bobby Price, a short-handed goal, began a run of 6 unanswered for the Prowlers between the end of the second and into the third period. And that gave Port Huron enough for the victory in game number 1. And speaking of the Prowlers, there are a smattering of Prowler jerseys all around Danbury Ice Arena tonight. So the Prowlers faithful certainly traveling well this playoffs. Take a look at the bracket here in the FPHL. And we start on the top left. Carolina Thunderbirds won on the road last night 5-2. They can take the series in game 2 at home. Lobsters staved off elimination with a 5-3 win at home last night. Now it's a winner-take-all game 3 between them and the Dragons tonight in Athens. On the Empire Division side, the Binghamton Black Bears edged the Watertown Wolves 3-2 last night, and the Black Bears can now win the series at home. And of course, your feature presentation tonight, Prowlers won at home 6-3. And we will see here on the PHP Network if they can finish off the Hat Tricks on the road. Couple of changes in the lineup for the Danbury Hat Tricks. This man drawing in Corey Anderson. He will take Josh Newberg's spot in the center of that third line. He had an assist in 4 playoff games back in 2022. That was his last pro season. You see the numbers there on the screen for Anderson this year. 16 goals, 31 points in 48 games. Meanwhile, for the Prowlers, Alex Johnson scored a monumental goal last night. Put the Prowlers in front for good 39 seconds into the third period. That made it 3-2 at that point. It was Johnson's first playoff point since 2022 and his first playoff goal since 2019. Seems we are going to the anthem a little bit early here tonight, so we'll pause the pregame show real quick. We'll take you down to ice level for tonight's national anthem.
Singing the national anthem tonight, please welcome Zach Demko. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
That is tonight's national anthem here from Danbury Ice Arena. Prowlers and Hat-Tricks getting set for game number 2. Give you a quick look at tonight's starting goaltending matchup for both sides, as unfortunately had to cut the pregame show short. But it will be Valtteri Nuusiainen between the pipes for the Prowlers tonight against Connor McCullum. Nuusiainen, his first start since March the 15th against the Motor City Rockers. Spent some time on IR, but now he's back. 1-2 against the Hat-Tricks this season. His only win against Danbury came right here in this building, Danbury Ice Arena. Connor McCullum on the other side, looking to bounce back after allowing 6 goals on 34 shots. He was pulled in the third period last night. His back's against the wall as his team needs the win to keep their season alive. Top line against top line to get this one started. As tonight's Orthopedic Associates starting lineup for the Prowlers: Matt Graham, Reggie Millette, and Lucas Lockney, Brett Lockhart and Alex Johnson on defense, and Valtteri Nuusiainen between the pipes. We are underway in game 2 of this first round series. Hat-Tricks get the first possession, but Lucas Lockney with a good stick, able to keep LaBelle's pass getting all the way to Jacob Ratcliffe. Matt Graham goes up the boards, kept in by Johnny Ruiz. Poked around by Lockhart. Millette able to get it out. Here comes Lockney, has teammates hustling to join him. Lockney gave it to the trailer. Lockhart a shot, knocked down! And McCullum juggled and held. And now we start up quickly. Everybody getting involved here. There's a little poke towards McCullum at a puck that looked like it was going to be loose, but a nice play by Connor McCullum to keep it from dropping and being loose. Take a quick look at the lines tonight for the Port Huron Prowlers as everybody gets separated. Top line staying the same. But 3 players in, 3 skaters out. Drew Welsh had to take care of some things at school. He's unavailable tonight. Tyler Fox takes his spot on the third line and will center. Dylan Marty banged up last night. He's unavailable, so Luke James draws in. And Adam Heinzel, the difference on defense. He'll slide in with Braden Simmons-Fisher while Brian Parsons and Tim Organ are paired alongside each other. Off this face-off. Federley turned it on net. That was blocked away by LaBelle. It's that aforementioned Organ and Parsons pairing out there, along with this third line. And Tyler Fox getting his first playoff action. Ruiz able to slip it down deep. Hat tricks get a change. Of course, Fox, part of the Trine players that played 2 NCAA tournament games before coming to Port Huron as the Prowlers ice the puck here. Fox did have a goal in the win over Oswego State in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. He's certainly a guy who can show up in big games. He'll have to win back a defensive zone face-off here off the icing as the Russian line out there now for the hat tricks been Durkin, Frolov, and Vasilyev. Off the draw, comes back to the point. Gonzalez couldn't keep it in. Frolov, dump it right in on Nusiainen. He'll drop it and let Oregon take over as it was delayed offsides against the hat tricks. They had to go back and touch up. Oregon hanging out behind his own net. Moved it along towards Parsons. 2 hat tricks collapse on him. Parsons moves it, but that is an icing against Port Huron. So the hat tricks going aggressive on the forecheck here, sending 2 in on the Prowlers as they had it behind their net, and it causes an icing. Danbury will send out their third line here, including Corey Anderson, who draws in place of Josh Newberg tonight. Only other change for the hat tricks is Justin Movalli in place of the rookie Zach Ross on defense. Looks like Oregon and Robinson are jousting a little bit on that far side. And now Jamie Boussel's been asked to leave the faceoff due to Oregon's actions. Tonight's referees are Justin Crawford and William Lyons, the linesmen Michael Imperio and Justin Kowalski. Off this draw, Abdella, indirect feed. Anderson tried to sweep it out in front, and Nusiainen got the paddle down. Federley looks it all the way across to Scantleberry, fresh off the bench. He wires it in, and the Prowlers able to finish up a change. Scantleberry finds the loose puck, but he pushed it a little too far ahead of him as Robinson came to close him off. Adam Heinzel put it back in deep, but offside are the Prowlers. Scantleberry didn't touch it, but they were ready to blow the whistle anyway. We will get another whistle and another face-off. Bit of a choppy start to this one, but certainly the barking starting here early as Hullaby and Scantleberry got together and had a chat. It'll be Boussel and Connor Woolley take this face off, and Hullaby and Scantleberry still not done. You can see them right in front of the hat tricks bench. And now Woolley asked to leave the face off. Robinson will take it instead. Off the draw, came towards Hullaby and Scantleberry. They tied each other up. Scantleberry able to turn it deep, but offsides were the Prowlers at the line, so we'll try it again from the same spot. Probably the type of pace that the Prowlers would like to play, just to keep the Danbury fans out of it. This is a building that can get loud and get crazy, as now Woolley and Chartrand on the far side getting into it a little bit. And now Woolley and Chartrand are being separated and asked to go sit and cool off. The bad blood here early. It will stay 5-on-5, so Reggie Millette steps on to join Scantleberry and Bussell. Hat-tricks make a full change and get their top line out there. And now the Prowlers will finish the change, and it'll just be their entire top line. So Graham and Ruiz line up for this face-off. Can we drop the puck? There we go, finally. Everybody behaved long enough to get the puck down, and we're back underway. Graham tried to play it back to the point, but Johnson was in the neutral zone. He fires it back around. Delay of game to both Shorttrand and Woolley. As Millette tried to put it on net, that hit some traffic on the way through. Here comes Ratcliffe. Tried to lead it on for Harwell, gloved down by Lockhart. Sent back in. McCullum plays it for Pamaleon. Harwell had some trouble, and Lockney able to sweep it back deep. Prowlers back in on the forecheck as Pamaleon got it up to Harwell. Just got past Brett Lockhart. Lockhart able to poke it to his defense partner, Johnson. Millette tried to go across, got past Lockhart. And Ratcliffe from the red line, cross corner dump, and that Johnson's able to keep from getting all the way in. Lockney off for Millette. Makes a move. Passed it off. Fox tried to poke it back to him, couldn't do it. Rimmed all the way around. Parsons waiting at the point. Down to Lockney. Centering feed looking for Fox. Couldn't get him. And then Bedard ran into Reggie Millette as Millette was headed off for a change. And Reggie made sure to throw the body into Charlie Bedard. Frolov sends it down and around. Organ able to move it up towards LaBelle. Comes around to the near side. Vasiliev to Bedard on net, and that one swept away by Nusiainen. They lead it on for Bobby Price. Bedard hustling back. Price spins. Turns towards the net. His shot deflected down as Fox was right in the area. McCullum able to make the save. Frolov wrestled down to the ice. Fox down to Price. Looks across looking for Luke James, who draws in as the 10th forward tonight. And that pass just not where it needed to be, unfortunately, for the Prowlers. Bussell trying to pull it towards the net, couldn't do it. Van Durken up the boards out of the zone. Heinzel hustles after it. Across to Braden Simmons-Fisher. Prowlers back in. Bussell tried to drop it off. Now Bussell danced in front. He's taken down. Prowlers arms way in the air for a penalty they won't get. And then the Hat-Tricks fans wanted a penalty as well. Neither team gets what they want. We stay 5 aside. That second one was James tripping up Josh LaBelle, but it's all even still. Robinson into the offensive zone. His long-range shot punched out of play by Valtteri Nusiainen. Early stages of this one still scoreless. Shots 3-2 in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Anderson and Graham in on this draw. Graham able to win it back. Johnson up to Lockney. To Graham, couldn't bring that one in cleanly. Lockney comes in to back him up. And now Johnson on the regroup. Tossed it in from about the red line. Gonzalez to Robinson. Able to slip past Lockney momentarily, but Lucas Lockney picked his pocket. Lockney turns towards that, sent it on goal and over top of the cage. Johnson puts it back down and around. But Gonzalez tapped it around Millette. Gloved down by Lockhart. Wrestling with Ruiz, and he's able to get back in. Abdella up for Gonzalez. Long lead pass looking for Ruiz. That hit the linesman as it entered the Prowler zone. Price couldn't bring in that pass. Ruiz's shot blockered aside by Valtteri Nusiainen. Mo Valley tried to put it back on net and sent it wide. Price got it out of the zone. Ruiz able to put it right back in. Oregon chasing, watched by Ratcliffe. Indirect pass. Price able to spin it out of the zone. Pamaleon got it back to neutralize. Price has to walk the blue line with Fox still on the Hat-Tricks end. Prowlers in the midst of a change as Pamaleon goes up to Frolov. Out of the zone, glove down. Harwell Turns and heads up ice. Gets the red line. Chipped in off the glass. Came right on goal to Nusiainen. And he will cover up for a whistle and a face-off. And we get another meeting of the minds next to the goal crease. Neither team wants to give an inch in game number 2. We're still scoreless, early stages of period 1. You're watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs on the PHP Network. Presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network, providing resources and funding to help start or grow your business. Small business support in participating Region 6 counties. Take advantage of the network's free training and events for entrepreneurs and small business owners. The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network aims to boost your chances of success. Learn more about the network's Small Business Cohort Program. With rentable workspaces, business coaching, training, and funding opportunities, it's time to become a client of the Eastern Michigan Small Business Network.
Back here in Danbury, early stages of period 1, still scoreless here on the PHP Network in game 2 of this best of 3 series. They changed the penalties to Daniel Chartrand and Connor Woolley, 10 minutes apiece for inciting. Those are 10-minute misconducts. Those two will spend most of this first period in the box as Vasiliev sends it back to Mo Valley. Got out to Vasiliev, shot blocked by Price, who closed out on him. There's Fox able to chip it in and head after it. Federley in on the forecheck as well. He cancels out with Pamaleon. Loose puck, Frolov. Federley trying to battle his way towards him. Now Frolov tries to keep him moving. Caught up with Price. Federley claps it right back in. Frolov spun down in the neutral zone as Price went to the bench. Mo Valley behind his net, steps out. Port Huron finishes a change. Sent in, cross corner dump. Bussell able to scoop it up and turns up ice. Meanwhile, players colliding into the Prowler net, and now Jamie Bussell is down. He may have gotten a whack from Vadim Frolov, dropped his glove immediately. And Bussell certainly in some distress. Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith made the trip, and she's headed out to check on number 46. But the whistle blew because the net came off down to our right on the Prowlers end as a couple players got tripped up and slipped into it. Chris Paulin on the Prowlers bench up and trying to get an explanation from the referee. They'll move this face-off outside of the Prowlers zone. Port Huron will have a mixed line out there right now. There are currently 6 Prowlers on the ice. And now they'll send Brian Parsons off. Prowlers trying to point out that the net is still off its moorings. Referees are worried about who's supposed to be on the ice for the Prowlers, but the net is still sitting a couple feet behind Valtteri Nusiainen. Finally, a linesman heads over and decides to fix it. They might be moving this face-off inside the zone as well. It seems to be the direction everybody is headed. 13:03 left in period 1. We've seen plenty of stoppages so far, this being the final game on the slate tonight in the FPHL. And all 4 first round series, I should say, can end tonight. Robinson tried to sweep it on net as he was knocked down, and he pushed it wide. Scantleberry off the boards and over top of the glass, out of play. Hat-tricks want a delay of game penalty that they won't get because that one went off the glass first, although referees were conferring, but near referee able to confirm. So Port Huron gets a change. 5 FPHL teams can advance tonight. There are only 4 spots, but that's because there's one winner-take-all game. That one going on now down in Athens, Georgia, between the Rock Lobsters and the Columbus River Dragons. Brett Lockhart turns behind the net, bounced it all the way up to Lockney. Tried to leave it for Millette. Those two got their signals crossed. Back the other way comes Robinson. As he moved it into the zone, Lockhart stopped him at the line. Graham ripping up the left wing. Gets it across to Lockney as they enter the offensive zone. They say the Prowlers offside at the line. Graham and Hullaby having a few words next to McCullum, and linesmen get in between. Everybody heads back to where they're supposed to be as we get set for a face-off just outside of the Hat-Tricks end. We've only played 7.5-ish minutes of this game so far. It's felt like longer, but just so many whistles already. As the Hat-Tricks can't get that outlet feed to work. Lucianen out behind his net to play it, sweeps it around to the far side. Took a funny hop off that corner board. We've seen that work for both teams in this regular season series. Graham off the boards, out of the zone. Abdella, quick up to Ratcliffe. Goes on the brakes, slips to Harwell, tried to get it back out in front, couldn't do it. Organ on for Millette. 3 Hat-Tricks back as Millette cuts to the far side of the ice. His long-range shot swallowed up by Connor McCullum, and then Abdella gives Millette an extra shove. Abdella trying to grab at Reggie Millette, and what do you know? Another group hug right in front of the goal crease. Try and sort this one out. Both Hat-Tricks and Prowlers trying to get in each other's heads here. Just try and throw each other off their game. It doesn't take much. If you're off your game just a little bit, that could be the difference between winning and losing here in the playoffs. No power plays yet for either side, just over 8 minutes gone. Tyler Fox's line out there for the Prowlers. He'll draw against Gleb Van Durken. Van Durken won the face-off back. Abdella goes on the brakes behind the net, and now he hangs out and waits for the breakout to develop. Steps out to his left, tried to make a pass up to his right, and got to Frolov at the Prowler blue line. He dumps it in. Organ takes the handoff from Nusiainen under Federley, and here comes Price. Price drags it around Abdella, who lost his balance. Centering feed, looking for Organ. He was tied up with Movali. Price, or Fox, pardon me, knocked down to the ice by Abdella. Puck's underneath them and the referee. Referee able to get out of the scrum. And now Luke James pushes it around behind the net. Right, a back pass. Got through a few players. And here comes Danbury. Frolov on for Vasiliev. Working on Heinzel. Vasiliev in front. Couldn't find Frolov. Scantleberry got it out for Fox at the end of a long shift. He'll dump and change. The Valley takes a look. Over to Pamelayan on the right wing side. Cross-size feed. Robinson for Anderson. Try to put it on net. Good stick by Simmons Fisher. Scantleberry able to toss it out. Lands right in front of Valley and bounced up on him, but he's able to bat it to Anderson. Robinson trying to dance through in front, and Hullaby couldn't bring that one in. He was all alone right by Valtteri Nusiainen. Prowlers ice the puck here. Dylan Hullaby maybe held onto his stick a little too tight. Maybe got a little jammed up with that pass as well. Maybe even got caught between deflection or shot. But either way, unable to get anything on net there on what could have been a good chance for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Danbury sends out their top line. First offensive zone faceoff. Ruiz won it back. LaBelle, who had a goal last night from the point, tried to move it deep. Prowlers take over. Millette floats it through. Lockney chases after it in the corner. Played around to the far side. Millette taken in by Bedard. Ruiz able to move it up towards Ratcliffe. Got through him, and Lockhart fired a shot wide. Johnson settles it down. Tried to get it back in. That hit Harwell. And now it's Bedard. Indirect feed looking towards Ratcliffe. Had it chopped off his stick by Lockhart. Ratcliffe back on it. Turns and starts to head up ice. Scantlebury finishes him into the boards. Scantlebury, the next one to touch that after he gloved it down, so no hand pass. Bussell working up the boards to Scantlebury, and now down to James. Penalty coming up against the Hat-Tricks as Scantlebury got hit from behind. And we will have our first power play of the game when we come back. It belongs to the Port Huron Prowlers. And the concern now for Tucker Scantlebury, who's still down on the ice. Chase Harwell to the box. And we will get you an update when we come back here on the PHP Network. You are watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not...
A Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Back here in Danbury, it will be a 2-minute boarding penalty. The Chase Harwell Prowlers are petitioning for more than 2 minutes, but 2 minutes is all they'll get for a power play that went 2 for 4 last night, working at an even 50% so far in these playoffs. That leads the FPHL in the playoffs. You got 2 for 4 last night. And the power play is how Port Huron really got back in the game. It started with a shorthanded goal, and then Welsh tied it on the power play. Johnson gave them the lead on the man advantage. Here is that top unit for Port Huron as Federley walks the blue line, gives it over to Lockney. Down low, Graham trying to make a pass across. Lockney comes flying in. Not a touch on it, but not enough as McCullum swept it away. Millette across to Federley. Gave it right back. Millette looks down. Graham works it in, but Ratcliffe took it away from him and got it out of the zone. Minute 15 left on the Prowlers power play as Austin Federley retreats to his own end. Port Huron making a change. Price, Scantlebury, Lockhart, Simmons Fisher, and Organ on this power play unit for Port Huron. Has 55 seconds to work with. Simmons Fisher to Price on the half wall. Simmons Fisher lined up right in front of the net. Lockhart sends it there, tipped wide as Simmons Fisher got a piece. 40 seconds left on the man advantage. Here's Simmons Fisher. Drops the shoulder, goes for Scantlebury, bounced up top to Lockhart. Port Huron trying to set up, but Lockhart tried to get it deep, couldn't do it. LaBelle sent it all the way down. Organ fires his way up ice. Sent it all the way across, but ended up on LaBelle's tape. He sends it all the way back down again. 15 seconds left on this Prowlers power play, their first of the game. Up the left wing side, Scantlebury flies into the offensive zone. Curlin drag shot ended up in the protective netting, out of play. Chartrand and Woolley able to escape the sin bins. Harwell has 3 more seconds before he's allowed out. Prowlers are sending out their top line and a normal defense pairing. Actually, Johnson and Parsons, the defense pairing. Parsons takes a look at the clock. As Hat-Tricks win the faceoff, LaBelle just fires it all the way down. That will take care of the Prowlers' first man advantage tonight. They're 0 for 1. They're still scoreless as Johnson fires it ahead. Lockney able to tip it in. Goes around to the far side. Abdullah and Graham lock up behind the net. Harwell took a swipe from Lockney. Gonzalez for Abdullah. Ratcliffe tossed it out. Parsons able to settle it down with the glove, but right back deep in Hat-Tricks territory. Under 7 to go in period 1. Abdullah catches back up to that puck. This pass to Gonzalez went awry. Port Huron takes over, but it got past Simmons Fisher at the line. That puck bounced at the last moment. Heinzel quick up towards Millette. Able to chip it in. Abdullah sends it right back out. And then Simmons Fisher finishes off Vasiliev with a little reverse hit. Van Durkin able to send it in deep. No icing here. Heinzel up to Price. Got out of the zone. Here comes Fox. Working on Pamaleon. Fox tried to drop it off. Couldn't find a teammate. And here come the Hat-Tricks on the counter. It's Woolley. Into the offensive zone. Sent it across. Vasiliev taken down. Everybody in the crowd put their arms up in the air, but nobody in stripes did. Federley floats it in. Price able to sweep it over to the far side. Port Huron in the midst of a change. Valley sends it in all the way down. And an icing called against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Daniel Chartrand looking to mix things up, having a chat with Hullaby. Chartrand back on the ice after serving his 10 minutes. Connor Woolley led that rush just a little bit earlier after he served his 10. 5:47 left to go in period 1. Shots right now 5 apiece. Bussell won it back. Scantleberry, he scores! Right off the draw, Tucker Scantleberry rips it home. Prowlers break the icing game 2. A clean face-off win from Jamie Bussell, and Tucker Scantleberry has his first goal of the playoffs. A career-high 19 tallies in the regular season, and Scantleberry with his 5th career playoff goal, all in a Prowlers uniform. And the icebreaker here tonight in Danbury. LaBelle fires it in right on Nusiainen, and he hands off for Johnson. All the way around it comes. Chartrand couldn't bring it in with his stick. Bussell pokes it away from Anderson. Scantleberry rims it all the way around. And now Chartrand causing some havoc, stealing the puck, floats it across. Organ takes a look, his shot right into the breadbasket of Connor McCullum, and Hullaby comes in to say hi to Matt Graham. So officially, it is Scantleberry from Bussell. First goal here tonight. Both of them, Scantleberry and Bussell, had an assist last night. As Robinson and Chartrand still having words on their way back to their respective benches. Face-off will be to McCullum's right. Head coaches in for the draw, Graham and Ruiz. And Ruiz wins this one back. LaBelle spins up to the near side. Able to get it out of the zone. Lockney controls there. Back to Parsons. Quick up looking for Graham. That got past him. And that is an icing against the Prowlers. That puck may have just come up on edge on Brian Parsons as he went to move it. 5:06 left to go in period 1. Face-off will be all the way down in Nusiainen's end. He's made 5 saves so far in this opening period. Now Oregon and Ratcliffe battling on the near side boards. Seen that before. Finally they drop the puck, and those two tie right up, but they blow it dead immediately. They've already sent a couple players to the box for delaying the game. In Chartrand and Woolley, I was just seeing what the referee was doing. Said to hold it for 1 second. As he sent it on net, and a save by Nusiainen, who's telling the clock operator to hold for 1 second. But certainly those battles before the face-off have been prevalent tonight. Scantlebury and Hullaby, so Oregon getting into it right at the beginning of the game, and then again there with Ratcliffe. Oregon off to the bench as the Prowlers make a change. And again, Chartrand and Woolley get their 10-minute misconducts. Referees certainly would like to keep that to a minimum. James on for Federley. Works his way in, throws on the brakes. Got it down deep, kicked off of Bezdarski. James got it on net, and it's saved by McCullum, and Luke James couldn't find the rebound. As James came flying in, get to that loose puck. Harwell on goal, stick to the corner by Nusiainen. Popped up in the air, glove down Ruiz. Up top, LaBelle across looking for Abdella, couldn't bring it in clean. He's able to one-hand it deep. Comes to Price. Price taken in by Ratcliffe. And Harwell gets it back to LaBelle. Hat-tricks regroup. Abdella trying to work his way in, tied up with Simmons Fisher. They both go down, and Simmons Fisher is heading to the penalty box. Now Van Durkin and Scantlebury tie up. Looks like we're getting the Hat-tricks first power play of the game when we come back. But Tucker Scantlebury has the first one tonight, and the Prowlers have a 1-0 lead. You are watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Back here in Danbury, Hat-tricks getting their first power play of the night as Braden Simmons Fisher sits 2 in the box for holding. Danbury's man advantage went 1 for 5 last night. And that goal coming in the final minute was eventually a 6-3 Prowler win. Graham with a good stick, able to block up the puck, but Woolley settles it back down. Sent across to Vasiliev. Van Durkin looks towards the net, back to Vasiliev. In front, Frolov on his backhand, in tight. Save Nusiainen, puck's underneath Frolov. They find it, and Nusiainen down on the ice, able to cover up. And Frolov and Graham visor to visor. Believe it was Van Durkin who was able to dig it out. Nusiainen stayed right with him and kept that puck in front of him and then underneath. Minute 34 left on this Hat-tricks power play. It's already had some tense moments so far. Actually, it was Connor Woolley, I believe. No, pardon me. Van Durkin slides in with Chartrand. Actually, Chartrand, we asked to leave. Oregon and Frolov gave each other whacks, and Chartrand kicked out of the draw because of it. Vasiliev quickly across to Gonzalez as he fell backwards, keeping that puck in. Van Durkin on net, kick save by Nusiainen, and Price clears. But Vasiliev did all he could just to keep that puck in the zone, and it led to a good chance for the Hat-tricks leading scorer, Gleb Van Durkin, who was on the puck now. Van Durkin able to sidestep most of a check from Brett Lockhart, but the Prowlers get the puck and send it all the way down. Hat-Tricks trying quick up with Port Huron in the midst of a change. Here's Vasiliev into the corner, rims it all the way around. Harwell able to keep it in on the line. Van Durkin in the corner, up high to Ratcliffe. Across, LaBelle. Down low, Vasiliev. Van Durkin, one-timer, Ratcliffe over top of the cage. Off the back glass, and then Federley clears it all the way down. .30 seconds left on the penalty to Braden Simmons-Fisher. Under 3 to go in period 1. Ratcliffe back to the point to LaBelle. Got it right back. Ruiz wanted the one-timer, wasn't in the wheelhouse. LaBelle turns the corner, and he starts off ice. Off to Hullaby, kicked off his skate. Nusiainen will clear it as far as Graham, who gets it out of the zone. Simmons-Fisher standing, set to come out of the box. So we're back to 5-on-5, both PKs, 1 for 1 tonight. Still a 1-0 Prowlers lead as we approach 2 minutes left to go in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. Hat-Tricks get 3 shots on net on that power play as LaBelle steps out, watched by Fox. Slowly up to the red line, to a soft chip in. Johnson around the dasher, kept in by Woolley. Move to the point, Pamaleon just could not keep it in. He was coming hard off the bench. Just didn't get there in time. Under 2 to go here in period 1. Why don't you stick around for the Moses Roses smoke break. First intermission report here on the PHP Network. Take a look back at the top 10 plays from the regular season for the Prowlers. Out-of-town scores as well, and much more, so keep it locked in here on the PHP Network. Braden Simmons-Fisher off the boards, and then getting tabletop there was Chartrand. Simmons-Fisher threw his body as well. Here's Bucella, shot sticked away by McCullum. Steal behind the net, Bucell taps it around to the near side. Organ, Bucell down behind the cage. Scantleberry sells it down, tried to center, it's out in front, and Bucell lofted over top of the cage. Centering feed, Scantleberry couldn't get to a shooting position. Organ got it down deep. Bucell after Woolley got a stick on it. And finally Van Durkin able to smack it out of the zone as we hit the final minute. Lead pass for Scantleberry, but he couldn't tip it in. Anderson dealing with Millette. Graham trying to tie up. Here's Hullaby up for Robinson. Gets the puck into the offensive zone. Simmons-Fisher off the boards on the far side. Millette comes back for it. Takes a look and has no pressure, so he'll just skate back with it in his own end, wait for something to open up. Lockhart, indirect feed. Graham able to chop it in. Hit the linesman. Lockney had to circle back for it. 20 seconds left to go in the first. Gonzalez. Reverse for Abdella. Takes a look. Sends the 2-line pass through everybody. Comes all the way down for an icing with 9.4 left to go. And the Prowlers, a chance on the offensive zone face-off. They scored off an offensive zone face-off, and the line that did it out there right now. Bucell leads his group out with Tucker Scantleberry, the only goal scorer in the game so far. Up there on that far wing. Bucell and Anderson for a critical face-off at the end of period 1. They tie up. Chartrand swept it out in front, nobody home. Hullaby got it out of the zone. Johnson gave it across, and Organ takes out the rest of the time. 20 minutes down. Prowlers with the only goal so far off the stick of Tucker Scantleberry. Shots on goal in that opening frame favored the Danbury Hat-Tricks 11-10. Both teams with a power play that was unsuccessful. And we go into the locker rooms with a 1-0 lead for the Port Huron Prowlers, looking to end this series here tonight. Once again, coming up in the Moses Roses smoke break, first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We'll take a look at the top 10 plays of the year, the entire regular season. Sorry, not last night, but just the entire regular season. Some great plays in there. The goaltenders are certainly well represented, just in case you're a person who likes the goaltending more than the goal scoring. We'll also take a look at some out-of-town scores from around the FPHL, game stats, and much more. So don't go anywhere. Coverage continues of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs right here on the PHP Network. Well, it's playoff time, Port Huron. Now is your chance. You got special limited edition playoff gear and special edition 10th anniversary gear here at the Prowlers team store. It's located on the west end of McMorran Arena at every home game or online anytime at prowlersmerch.com. You can scan the QR code on your screen now to visit the online shop. Look your POHO best with gear from the Prowlers team store. 1-0 Port Huron through 20 minutes of play. Stick around here on the PHP Network for the top plays from this regular season. It's next.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
Seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. get it deep though as Bernace took it. 15 seconds left to go in regulation. Here come the Bobcats, dangling in, saved by Nusiainen, a game saver. And Valtteri Nusiainen makes sure this one gets to overtime as he robs Igor Romano. He works in slowly to that right side again. Federley. Back to the forehand, he scores! The Prowlers win it in the shootout. 3-2 your final. The captain gets it done. First victory of the season for the Prowlers. Ram behind the net. Works out, he scores! Matt Graham picks the corner from the goal line, and the Prowlers win it in overtime. Kept it deep only for a moment. Blaisdell now gets it back down low, pass in front, Corgan stopped by a sprawling Cooper. Chris Corgan coming down the backside, robbed by Reed Cooper as he dove across. Had to reach back forward in the final set. Mullins to that save, Yoshi the rebound, what a stop on the rebound! Yoshi robs the Dashers there, that was Horn. Prowlers try and work out, it's Lockney. Going across to Millette, chips it past Blaisdell, Millette's in, he scores! Reggie Millette, 43 seconds in, as the Prowlers on the board first. And after a chance one direction that Eli Rivers can't convert, Reggie Millette makes good the other way with his 14th of the year. Back in front, Nate Keeley couldn't get to go. Kramer robbed! Oh my! Nusiainen! On his back, reached out the glove, he robbed Kramer. Pitchforks it out of the zone. Kicked off of Lockhart. Brett Lockhart recollects. Nice move around Miettinen. Lockhart in front, and they score! That one caromed home. What a play by Brett Lockhart. Dancing around Miettinen. And that might be Brett Lockhart's goal. That makes it 6-1. Johnson up to Frazee. And touched along for Scantleberry. Into offensive territory. Drags it through. Tried to stuff it. And he scores! What a goal by Tucker Scantleberry. Little dangle move, and from the goal line, he beats Colgan, and Tucker Scantleberry has made it 2-0. And he tried to get Federley right off the bench. He had it poked away, but he gets it back. Lockney by himself. Scores! Between his legs, Lucas Lockney. What a stark report here on Lucas Lockney. Put him on the highlight reel.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Back here in Danbury, first intermission underway, and it's the Prowlers with a 1-0 lead on the Danbury Hat Tricks. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. It's a pretty even first 20 minutes of play between the Prowlers and the Hat Tricks. The difference, a face-off win in the offensive zone by Jamie Bussell, and Tucker Scantleberry with a rip. Got it past Connor McCullum through the traffic. Not sure if McCullum even saw it before it hit the twine behind him. And it is a 1-0 Port Huron lead. Prowlers trying to end the series here tonight. They have a chance to head on home and get set for round number 2. They'll have to put together a good 40 more minutes. And before tonight's game, I wasn't able to play it in the pregame. I had a chance to speak with Prowlers assistant coach Chris Paulin. So since I couldn't get to that in the pregame show, let's give it to you now. That was Prowlers assistant coach Chris Paulin ahead of tonight's game against the Danbury Hat Tricks. And he talked about, I asked him about, keeping this crowd out of it, and Prowlers have done a good job of that. This is, of course, a crowd that's well known around the FPHL to be one of the wildest in the league. And the Prowlers did a good job. He talked about just playing smothering. The Prowlers did that. Not too many good opportunities for Danbury in that first 20 minutes. And that, again, kept the crowd at bay as much as possible. Before we get back to tonight's game, let's take a look around the FPHL. All the other series in action tonight. And it looks like if scores hold in those other games, that the rest of these series will end tonight. We start in Binghamton where the Black Bears are up 2-0 on the Watertown Wolves, decimating them in the shots on goals department. 33-8 are the shots for Binghamton through 40 minutes of play. Watertown managed just one shot on net in the second period as CJ Stubbs and Blake Tosto found the back of the net for Binghamton. Black Bears trying to end that series. In Athens, the big one tonight, winner take all game 3 between the Rock Lobsters and the Columbus River Dragons. Lobsters got 2 in the first from Orca Weisblatt and Garrett Milan. And in the second, Cody Wickline and Scott Doherty tied things up for Columbus. It's a tight one in Athens, and one goal could decide who moves on and who heads home. Lobsters and Dragons tied at 2, heading into period number 3. They're still working in the second period, and the Thunderbirds are putting on a clinic offensively. 4 in the first from Nate Keeley, John Batista, Jordan Gagnon, and Peter Panacek. And Carolina has Blue Ridge on the brink of elimination here tonight at home in Winston-Salem. They're up 4-0. Again, still working in the second period. All 4 of those goals for the Birds came in the opening 20 minutes. And of course, here tonight, it is 1-0 for the Port Huron Prowlers, who are also trying to end the series against the Danbury Hat Tricks. Take a look at the stats so far from tonight's game. Hat Tricks up on shots 11-10, but as I mentioned, an even period. Each team got 1 power play and 1 10-minute misconduct apiece, as things got a little bit rough before face-offs and the referees decided to set an example, but it doesn't seem to have calmed it too much. But as players are getting kicked out of face-offs, the centermen at least getting kicked out of face-offs due to their wingers' shenanigans. But no more penalties have been called, and certainly the referees warning both sides ahead of each and every face-off if it even looks like something might happen. But 1 power play apiece, both unsuccessful, as these 2 teams get set for the middle 20 here tonight from Danbury Ice Arena. As the referees have hit the ice, take a look at our PHP Network trivia question. This is not the first time a team from Port Huron and a team from Danbury have matched up. Of course, they were the Prowlers the last time a team from Port Huron was here in Danbury in the playoffs. We want to know, what was that team from Danbury? What were they called? Put your guess in the comments section. We will give you the correct answer coming up at the start of period number 3. The referees have hit the ice. Players soon to follow as we get set for the Hungry Howies second period here on the PHP Network. While we're here, might as well pay some more bills, as the Commissioner's Cup playoffs are presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey. Proper 12, the official shot of the Port Huron Prowlers. Again, some Prowler jerseys sprinkled in throughout this mostly black and orange crowd here in Danbury. I know a few players with families here. Brian Parsons, Brett Lockhart, both Massachusetts boys, had some family come and visit. We do have some season ticket holders who were at the game last night and made the whole trip here to Danbury tonight to cheer on their Prowlers. We appreciate their effort to come in and make this a welcoming environment for their team as much as possible. We also appreciate all of you who are tuning in here on the PHP Network, as Port Huron looking to do what it hasn't done in 7 years, and that is move on in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. 2018, the last time the Prowlers did that, and that year it was a semifinal. And that sent them to the Commissioner's Cup final, where they eventually lost to the Watertown Wolves. This time it's a quarterfinal. Prowlers have never won a quarterfinal in the FPHL. As teams are hitting the ice, see Valtteri Nusiainen in the goal crease down to our left. 11 saves on 11 hat tricks shots. Connor McCullum led the hat tricks out of that door right behind Nusiainen. He made 9 saves on 10 Prowler shots. As teams and fans getting amped up for the second period. Last night, it was the Hat Tricks who got off to a 1-0 lead heading into the second, and then they made it 2-0. Tonight, it's the Prowlers who will get that big next goal and make it a multi-goal game for the Prowlers, or a tied-up game for the Hat Tricks. This crowd's certainly waiting to explode, and the Hat Tricks hoping to give their fans a reason to do just that. Matt Graham and Johnny Ruiz set for the face-off. 20 minutes up on the board. Second period is underway. Jacob Ratcliffe takes control, got it into the offensive zone. Lockhart around for Johnson. Off the boards, out of the zone. Chasing behind his own net is LaBelle, reverse for Ratcliffe. Millette comes right in on him on the forecheck. Ratcliffe able to pitchfork it only as far as the line. Johnson leapt up to glove it down and keep it alive. Connor McCullum freezes play off the shot from Alex Johnson with an athletic play from number 25 in white. And because of that play, Prowlers get an offensive zone face-off here. They send out the third line, Fox, Federley, and Price. One to the boards. LaBelle rims it around this side. Harwell able to slip past to check. Works into the Prowlers end. Chips it in, heads after it. Parsons able to keep it moving around. Bedard and Price were tied up. Ratcliffe tried a turnaround shot. Ended up sending Austin Federley's stick moving instead of the puck. Here's Price trying to split through on his backhand. Curls back. Price tried to get it on goal. That was blocked by Harwell. Oregon gets it down deep. Fox working in on the cycle. Took a hit from LaBelle. And now Bedard takes over with the Prowlers finishing up a change. Ruiz takes a look off ice. Trying to go up to Ratcliffe. Good play by Bussell to knock it down. Here comes Shartrand. Has Scantleberry. Shartrand couldn't get it out in front. Oh, the Prowlers had numbers. A 3-on-1 moving in. Heinzel a drive. Stopped by McCullum, and the rebound was available before it was cleared away. And those are the shots that you have to be most wary of come playoff time. A shot from the point through traffic. Those are the types of plays that sometimes find the back of the net this time of year. Never a bad play to put the puck on net. Here's Gonzalez working into the offensive zone, drops it off. Frolov on goal, and a stick save by Nusiainen. Vasiliev double teamed. Lockhart around for Johnson. 2 minutes gone in period 2. Johnson sends Millette out with it. He's dumped it in. Abdella got there ahead of both Millette and Graham. Frolov bounced it back deeper in his own zone. Abdella had some trouble. Lockney was in on the forecheck. Lockney just able to get it back deep. Gonzalez around for Van Durken. Van Durken with his head up. There's a long stretch pass for Vasiliev, who only got a piece of it, so no icing. Oregon and Frolov cancel out as Graham gets it out of the defensive zone. Pamaleon high flip. Graham got a glove on it. It was touched next by the hat trick, so no hand pass. Johnson rims it all the way around. Lockney working up into the offensive zone, sends it all the way across to Federley. Tried to put it on net off the stick of Mo Valley and high into protective netting, out of play. 2:53 gone in period number 2. Prowlers still with a 1-0 lead on the Danbury Hat-Tricks on the strength of a Tucker Scantleberry first period tally. Luke James getting a shift here in Austin Federley's spot after Federley took most of a shift with the change going on. So he'll get a rest, and James steps in. Parsons down and around behind the net. Mo Valley chases after it. He ran into the brick wall named Tyler Fox. Oregon at the line. Drag, shoots. That one changed direction a couple of times and ended up going wide. Fox trying to pull it from Pamaleon. Fox and Robinson after it. They tie up. Price in for the puck. Fox upended. And Pamaleon with it. Behind his own net. Prowlers in the midst of a change as Pamaleon in no hurry. Mo Valley, long lead pass, got through everybody. And icing waved off at the last moment. Harwell and Oregon come together. Now Harwell with it, looking out in front, sent it all the way across, missed everybody. And Scantleberry has shot it out of play. And that will be a delay of game penalty. It looks like against Tucker Scantlebury. So the Hat-Tricks will get their second power play of the game. That puck may have just gone on edge at the last moment on Tucker Scantlebury. So the only goal scorer tonight has to sit in the box for the second Hat-Tricks power play of the game. They're 0 for 1. Hullaby, Ruiz, Ratcliffe, LaBelle, and Harwell. The 5 for Danbury to begin. Prowlers countering with Graham Bussell, Heinzel, and Simmons Fisher. Here's LaBelle. Across to Ratcliffe, gave it right back. Wasn't in the wheelhouse for a one-timer. Hullaby had some trouble with it below the goal line. Heinzel finishes his check on Harwell. Graham tried to go out to Bussell, who's springing short-handed, and Ruiz got in the way of that pass. Simmons Fisher turns softly off the boards. Graham tapped it back to Bussell. He's able to whack it all the way down. 25 seconds gone on the penalty to Scantlebury. LaBelle works his way up, gets to the red line. Now he passes it off to Ruiz. Austin Federley able to step in between. Here comes Luke James short-handed. James with a shot, save McCullum, and he'll hang on. Luke James, oh no. They keep it moving. I thought the referee blew his whistle, pardon me. That was my mistake, but Luke James, the birthday boy, looking for something short-handed there. LaBelle gets the red line, fires it all the way around. Frolov fresh off the bench, shaking his hand. And the referee will get Daniel Chartrand here for the slash, and a 5-on-3 for the Danbury Hat-Tricks coming for 50 seconds. Looked like a bit of a delayed arm up in the air, but an arm nonetheless, as Frolov turned, dropped his stick, and shook his hand. And that drew the call. Hat-Tricks scored last night on the power play after they had a 5-on-3. Prowlers start with Graham, Federley, and Johnson. Again, 50 seconds of 5-on-3 time here for the Hat-Tricks. They win the face-off back. Ruiz over to LaBelle, walks in, he shoots, he scores! Right off the rip, Josh LaBelle with his second of the series, ties it up at 1. Hat-Tricks will still be on the power play for 1 minute and 55 seconds. As they got it to big Josh LaBelle. He's got that seeing eye wrister, goes glove side on Valtteri Nusiainen. After a goal and an assist last night, LaBelle puts it home. We have a level score here. And again, still a power play for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. 5-on-4 now for the next minute 52 as Simmons Fisher turns and fires it all the way down. Career high 10 goals in the regular season for LaBelle. Again, this is his second of these playoffs, fourth career playoff goal. Here's Gonzalez over to Robinson. Works down low for Woolley. Up high. Gonzalez. Vasiliev in front. Save. Nusiainen. Rebound. Poke just wide. Heinzel able to get it just out off a couple of sticks. Van Durkin able to slip away from a check. Got it over to Woolley. Harwell and Ruiz get the assist. Here's Robinson's shot off the back glass. And Durkin a backhander. Save. Puck is available. It sits there. Robinson turnaround try and couldn't find the target. Hat-Tricks buzzing here on the power play. Woolley to Gonzalez. Winds down to Robinson. Van Durkin. Gonzalez fumbled it, just kept it in. Woolley on goal, save Nusiainen, they score! Noah Robinson able to bat it out of the air, and just like that, the power play puts Danbury in front. Noah Robinson with his first of these playoffs. Able to juggle it. Nusiainen couldn't hang on to the rebound. Popped up in the air, and Robinson batted at it. And the Hat-Tricks with 2 power play goals in quick succession get themselves a 2-1 lead. LaBelle and Robinson, the power play goals. Port Huron's PK might have some work to do here. This one sent all the way down, no icing. Woolley and Gonzalez pick up the assists on the goal by Robinson. Fans are feeling good in Danbury. Prowlers trying to restabilize. Here comes Millette with Lockney. Lockney walks in. Saved by McCullum. Off the blocker, out of play. We will take a timeout. Hat-Tricks get 2 power play goals early in this second, and they have taken the lead. You are watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Live where you work. Work where you play. Is your work commute making you miserable? Quit the commute. Explore hot jobs in St. Clair County paying $40,000 to $100,000 or more. Visit stclairhotjobs.com. Spend more time doing what you love. If you're not currently living in St. Clair County, or you know friends or family that moved away but are ready to come back, then visit stclairhotjobs.com to find a new job and make the move.
Back here in Danbury, power play, a dangerous thing. And the Hat-Tricks make the Prowlers pay here tonight. In period number 2, they have a 2-1 lead, and the fans are juiced up. The 2 goals from LaBelle and Robinson coming 1 minute and 17 seconds apart. Port Huron, though, with the offensive zone face-off, and they have the top line out there trying to get a response. Graham and Van Durken on the face-off. Van Durken won it back. LaBelle floats it around to the near side. It's Vasiliev. Tried to get it out. Millette played it right back into Woolley. Johnson recovers in his own end. Goes on the breaks behind the net. Attacked by Woolley. Johnson able to get the puck out of the zone at least. LaBelle looks to regroup. Quick up to Woolley. Backhanded into the Prowlers, and Nusiainen clamps the glove on top, and he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. Hat-Tricks look like they're getting a little bit of energy here from those 2 goals. They'll get the offensive zone draw here. Port Huron switching up the lines. Third line out for the Prowlers. Vasiliev lined up right behind Gleb Van Durken. This face-off for Danbury. But Fox wins it straight back to Tim Morgan. Price out for Fox. Gets around Vasiliev. Fox all the way around the net. Sent it around for Federley. Cycle back deep. Fox around a drop stick. Here's Organ on net. That one just floated wide. Organ gloves it down. Couldn't make a move around LaBelle. And LaBelle able to get it deep as Tucker Scantleberry came off the bench to throw a check on big Josh LaBelle. Comes out for Van Durken. Hat-trick set up. Van Durken across looking for Pamela on passes behind him. He sent it through. Blocked down by Bussell. Bussell couldn't get it out. Van Durken got it back deep as Parsons and Vasiliev came together. Organ up for Shertrand. And he dumps it in. 11:40 left to go in period 2. And now things breaking loose in front of the benches. Brian Parsons involved. Somebody on the Hat Tricks is also involved. We'll figure out who that player is. As Parsons was going to the bench for a change and ended up getting tangled up with somebody on the Danbury bench. I believe this will be evened up. Brian Parsons is in the box. And heading to the Danbury penalty box is Alexander Vasiliev. Johnny Ruiz having a conversation with the referee along with Austin Federley. The referees have signaled four-a-side hockey here for the next 2 minutes. Ruiz still barking at the official, not happy with the calls. Face-off will be inside of the Hat Trick zone, as that's where the puck was when the whistle was blown. Prowlers send out Price, Millette, Lockhart, and Johnson. Hat Tricks with Ruiz, Ratcliffe, Abdella, and Gonzalez. 4-on-4 action here for the next 2 minutes. Millette turned over his stick and he won the face-off back. Lockhart right down Main Street, and that one blocked by Gonzalez. And he feels that. Here's Ruiz the other way. On his backhand, sent it wide. Millette picks up the carom and goes off to the races the other way. Here's Millette working through Bedard, couldn't get back to the forehand. Beautiful move though by Reggie Millette. Comes around, Price, Millette, looking to turn the corner. Millette up top, sent it through, and McCullum the save. He'll keep play moving. Ruiz up for Bedard. Prowlers got fresh forwards on the ice. That's why McCullum was able to keep play going. Johnson up the left wing side, chased by Van Durken, who picked his pocket but lost his stick. Well, Van Durken has to go chase after his twig. Meanwhile, the Prowlers reset. Scantleberry works in around Van Durken, but Bussell offsides on the near side as he entered the offensive zone. 56 seconds left in the 4-on-4, 10:34 left to go in the second period. Hat Tricks with a 2-1 lead on the strength of a pair of power play goals early in this frame. Van Durken and Federley on this face-off. And Van Durken able to pull it out, get it to LaBelle. LaBelle fanned on his first pass attempt. This one ends up deep in Prowler ice. Simmons Fisher spun around by Van Durken, trying to work his way out. Simmons Fisher had his stick lifted. Van Durken took him down. And that is a hooking penalty on Van Durken, who cannot believe it. If you open up a hockey textbook and look up the penalty hooking, there's a chance that picture might be in it. That is a clear as day call that the Danbury fans do not like. The Prowlers will get a 4-on-3 power play for 37 seconds, and then 5-on-4 after that once Parsons and Vasiliev step out of the penalty boxes. Prowlers start with Millette, Federley, Graham, and Lockney. So just Alex Johnson missing from this top power play unit to begin. Millette turns the corner, takes a look, Erlen Drag is shot, stop, the rebound was available, and Graham has it behind the net. Federley walks in, down to Graham, looks across, Lockney catch, up to Millette, kicked off his skate, and LaBelle clears. 15 seconds left until this becomes a 5-on-4 power play for the Prowlers. Federley over to Millette. Throws on the brakes. It's now a 5-on-4 power play as Millette walks in, he shoots, blocked. The rebound, Lockney around behind the net. Millette one-timer, couldn't find the target. Johnson fresh off the bench. Goes to Federley at center point. Lockney with 1:05 left in the man advantage for the Prowlers. Federley sent it through, he scores! Tipped down by Matt Graham right in front, and the Prowlers power play gets us back to even. What did I say earlier about those float shots from the point this time of year? Federley sent it through, and we've seen the regular season, Alex Johnson the one with the deflections on the Federley shots. That time, it was the Prowlers head coach Matt Graham standing right in front of Connor McCullum. He led the team with 24 goals this season, a career high. This is his first of the playoffs. Looks like they're giving it to Federley right now, but I believe Matt Graham did get the touch on that. Oh, we will find out for sure later. 9:07 left to go in period 2, and the Prowlers have responded with a power play goal of their own. You are watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs, presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
See that? That's what 100% mozzarella looks like. What dough made daily looks like. What fresh ingredients and 8 irresistible flavored crusts on pizza cooked to perfection looks like. It's so much flavor, we don't even know if it's legal to have this much flavor. Now you can get that famous flavor for only $8.99. Wait, a large one-topping pizza for $8.99? That's a deal. It's a steal. No, it's a crime. Just $8.99 for a one-topping pizza full of our famous flavor. Now that's how we do a deal.
Hungry?
Howie's!
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Back here in Danbury, a 2-all score. Special teams have been special for both sides in this second period. They're giving that goal right now to Austin Federley. And I believe it should be Matt Graham's, but if they do keep it as Federley's, that is his first career playoff goal. Game number 11 in his playoff career, all with Port Huron. Of course, the Prowlers captain, longest tenured Prowler, and oh, by the way, he grew up just a little while from McMorran Place. Organ down low towards Scantlebury. He and Abdella come together. Off the glass, out of the zone. Simmons Fisher has it in his skate. Hullaby tried to drag it through, and a good recovery from Simmons Fisher. Keep that from happening as Scantlebury set to hit on Gonzalez. Clapped all the way up to Chartrand with the hat tricks in the midst of a change. Graham down behind the net. Lockney in front looking for Graham. It's right in front of the blue paint. Pinballs around and comes to Pamelayan. Pamelayan chased by Lockney. Movali on towards Ruiz. He couldn't bring that pass in. Lockney couldn't get it deep as Pamelayan stepped up on him. Johnson sends this one down and around all the way to the near side. Movali up the boards. Tied up with a few players. Lockhart able to pinch in and keep it alive. Millette looking towards the net. Couldn't get it there. Millette back on it. Centered. Fox a shot over top of the cage. Lockney back around this side. Up top to Lockhart. Sent it through. Didn't get all the way to McCullum. Lockhart again. Loads it up. Down to Millette walking the goal line. Around the cage, centering feed, came all the way through for Johnson. His shot gloved and held by Connor McCullum as he puts out the fire in front. So now the Prowlers get some energy from their goal. Buzzing in the offensive zone there. Tyler Fox had a glorious opportunity all alone in a scoring area. Just tried to pick that top corner over McCullum's blocker. and put it a tad too high. Austin Federley in for this face-off against Gleb Van Durken. James able to touch it back deep. Van Durken and Price tied up. LaBelle standing and watching. Federley takes him in. Frolov starts up ice. Pass across to Bedard, had his pocket picked by Simmons Fisher. LaBelle hustling after it. Back behind his own net, Josh LaBelle directs traffic. Steps out to the right wing. Defense partner Charlie Bedard there. He tosses in from about the red line. Nusiainen hands it off for Simmons. Fisher took a hard hit. Sent all the way across in front of the crease. Vasiliev on the other side, but sent it through. That one pinballed past Gonzalez, who's right by the near post. Chartrand trying to work on Vasiliev, who took the puck from him. Prowlers getting a change finished up here. Vasiliev winds it up, gets to the red line, sends it all the way around. Heinzel able to chop it further. Chartrand couldn't keep it going. Parsons able to slip past the check of Van Durken, skates it, goes rink wide for Scantlebury. Into the offensive zone, just did keep it onside as he lost it in his skates. Gonzalez for Van Durken. Hullaby chips it in and heads after it. Tim Organ first there for the Prowlers. Up to Millette. Bounce pass looking for Graham. He couldn't bring it in clean. Mavalli back deep into Prowler territory, but from his own side of center, so icing called against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. And Mo Valley having a chat with the Prowlers bench as well. So Port Huron will get the offensive zone face-off here. Now in a 2-all game. Nice on that top line right out there for this offensive zone draw as Graham will take it against Corey Anderson. Anderson able to win it back. Pamaleon moves his way up. Off to Anderson, on goal, sticked away by Nusiainen. Pamaleon was in the area hunting for a potential rebound. Johnson up towards Lockney, flipped up in the air, settled down by Millette. Anderson able to get it just out of the zone, rolling into Prowler territory. Johnson head up, gets it to Lockney. Trying to go around Harwell, hands it off for Lockhart. Sent all the way in on McCullum. James, the first one there, put it back on net. And McCullum able to recover and make the save. Harwell and Parsons chase after this dump in. Comes up to LaBelle. Price closing on him. Cross to Bedard, floats it through. And Nusiainen with an easy glove grab. And now Parsons and Harwell throwing a couple of gloved punches before the linesmen get in between them. Cooler heads will prevail. They're wearing stripes. As we take a break momentarily, things may start to heat back up here. Finally, everybody separated, heading back to where they're supposed to be. And we will be right back with the Prowlers and Hat-Tricks tied up at 2 apiece in the second. You are watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
back here in Danbury, in case you were curious about things settling down during the TV timeout, they absolutely did not, as Chris Paul and Kyle Gonzalez, of course, the head coach for these hat tricks, Chris Paul, an assistant coach for the Prowlers, were nose to nose between the stanchion separating the benches, and 3 of the 4 men in stripes on the ice came down to try and get peace. Currently we have Luke James and Jacob Ratcliffe, each 2 minutes for slashing up there on the board, so we'll just get 4-on-4 action for the next 2 minutes. Looks like they're doing the fish toss here at Danbury. AJ Galante of Danbury Trashers fame trying to hype up the crowd here. 4:43 left to go in period 2. It's been a heck of a hockey game. Special teams were special in this second period. Hat tricks with 2 power play goals, Prowlers with 1. And Port Huron had the 1 goal in the first period. That's where we stand, 2 apiece. The face-off coming all the way down in Valtteri Nusiainen's end. Because in case you forgot, he's the one who made the last save before the timeout. Millette, Price, Johnson, and Organ out there for the Prowlers. Ruiz, Harwell, Bedard, and LaBelle for Danbury. Off the face-off, Price able to chip it past LaBelle. Prowlers have a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Millette with him. Price shoots. Saved by McCullum, kicking out that right pad. Price on his backhand, back to the net. Gives it to Millette. Gets to the slot. His shot rose over top of the cage. Hat tricks clear their zone, goes all the way down, and will just die short of the icing line. Organ starts it up. Able to dangle his way to the blue line, but not in as he lost the puck. Here's Vasiliev all by himself. Vasiliev spun it back, gave it away. Here comes Scantleberry on a breakaway. Stopped by McCullum with the blocker. Federally a steal. Trying to push it down low. Scantleberry hit from behind by Vasiliev. Arm up in the air immediately. That is a penalty. And now somebody threw garbage on the ice, and we can't have that. Tucker Scantleberry on his knees, slow to his skates. Second time in this game that he has been hit from behind for a hat tricks penalty. And the second time in this game, the Prowlers get a 4-on-3-man advantage. As Scantleberry, who scored the first goal of this hockey game, got a breakaway chance. Connor McCullum stood tall. Scantleberry tried to go to the same spot Bobby Price scored in last night's game, to that high blocker. This time McCullum able to knock it away, but the Prowlers again, they'll be up a man here for the next 2 minutes. It'll be 4-on-3 for 1 minute and 3 seconds, and then 5-on-4 for the 57 seconds after that, unless, of course, the Prowlers score. We'll see who Port Huron sends out to begin it. Last time it was Lockney, Graham, Millette, and Federley. Hat tricks starting with Gonzalez, Abdella, and Ruiz on the kill, and that is exactly the same foursome that the Prowlers send out. Same as last time. Millette take the draw against Johnny Ruiz. Comes to the boards, Lockney bounces it up top. Federley over to Millette. Looks towards the cage, across to Lockney. Touchback, Federley. Take the one-timer. Millette. Down low, Graham. Back up top. Federley down Main Street. He scores! McCullum got a piece, but not all. Austin Federley. That one's definitely his goal. Prowlers have the lead back. Great passing by the Prowlers to get Federley open right in the high slot. McCullum went down and sprawled. puck hit his shoulder and ended up dropping behind him and just rolled in. So Austin Federle may have his second of the game, or he has his first career playoff goal. Either way, a huge one for the Prowlers, a 4-on-3 power play goal. Although they are looking at it right now. Hat-tricks may have challenged this. So the referees are huddled around the monitor. I don't know what they're looking for. It would still be 4-on-4 because Vasiliev would come out as it was even before his penalty. And they say no goal. For what reason? I don't know. I need to... Wow. What could this call be? They say Graham got a piece of McCullum. That must be the call. Maybe Graham got a piece of McCullum coming through. Wow. I think they're calling goalie interference here. The Prowlers are still on the power play here for a minute and 41 more seconds. I thought McCullum was out of his goal crease, but if the goaltender's out of his goal crease, then he's fair game for bumps, but the referees disagree. So it stays 2-2. Lockney up to the top to Federle. Millette down to Graham. Hat-tricks collapse. And Millette has it again. He steps up and his shot blockered out of play by McCullum. So if I were to guess, again, goalie interference would be the guess that I would make for the reason why they took that goal off the board. Again, I thought McCullum was outside his crease when he made contact with Graham. I also thought he had time to reset when I was looking back at it on our stream, but referees disagreed. Here's Federle. Across, Millette walks in on the backhand, tried to send it across. Lockney was in too deep to receive the pass. Puck up on the dasher. Federle able to glove it down, but a hand pass called against Austin Federle. 2 seconds left until this becomes a 5-on-4 power play for the Prowlers. 59 seconds left in the advantage overall. And a huge call in this hockey game. Prowlers had a goal they thought was controversial for the Hat-tricks last night's stand. And tonight, they see one of theirs called off the board. Luke James and Jacob Ratcliffe set to step out of their respective penalty boxes. Bussell wins the faceoff back clean, and it's now a 5-on-4 advantage for the Port Huron Prowlers. Organ over to Lockhart on the right wing side, and now on to Price. Prowlers have their full power play unit out right now with 40 seconds left on the man advantage. Scantleberry across, looking for Lockhart, who is sneaking in from right point. That one hit a leg and ended up out of the zone. Scantleberry gets it right back in. Lobel claps it around and got through Lockhart all the way down. 20 seconds left on this Prowlers man advantage. Organ back for Millette. Pulls it past Ruiz. Millette firing his way in to the slot, and he shot it just past the net. Final seconds ticking off this Prowlers man advantage. As here come the Hat-tricks, 2-on-1, making a 3-on-1 with Vasiliev out of the box. Tried to get it across to Ruiz, bounces around. Vasiliev ran over Nusiainen, and the puck behind the net. Federle sends it up the boards past Pamaleon, no icing. Everybody back to their positions as Valtteri Nusiainen got bowled over there. Minute 17 left to go in this second period. Van Durken tossed it in. Bussell first on it. Around the net, off the glass. Movalli able to kick it back in. Parsons to Alex Johnson. Price, one-touch pass. Bussell tried to give it back. But instead, it's Robinson who turned it the other way. Johnson looking towards Bussell. Gets in with the puck. Bussell throws on the brakes. Cycled down deep. James left it as he took a hit from Pamaleon. Up top, Parsons. Off the backboards. Bussell on the puck, spinning away from Valley. Now James and Pamaleon tied up. Puck came out in front. Robinson the only one there. Poked past Parsons. Anderson trying to get there. So is Johnson. And Johnson wins that race. Anderson threw a check on Alex Johnson. 20 seconds left to go in the period. Lead pass on for Ruiz. One-on-one against Johnson. And he fumbled the puck. Millette up to Lockney with 10. All by himself. Lockney throws on the brakes. Couldn't get a pass across. Lockney right back in. Last try. Glove down by Connor McCullum. That will do it for an entertaining second period. Power plays took center stage, and we had a goal called off. It's 2-2 heading into the second intermission. Same score as it was last night, as both teams are not done barking before they head off to their respective locker rooms. Everybody trying to get a word in before they're sent off by the referees. Kyle Gonzalez and Austin Federley having a chat with one referee, possibly about that goal called off. Certainly Austin Federley has reason to be unhappy with it. That conversation still continuing at center ice. Finally, everybody headed off to their respective dressing rooms, and we can get set for the second intermission report here on the PHP Network. Moses Rose's Smoke Break second intermission report will feature a lot of me talking. We will chat about this game so far. Power plays coming up big in that second period. That's the big storyline so far. Also look at the out-of-town scores. There are games that are over. There are series that are over right now in the FPHL. We will let you know exactly what they are and who won, who's moving on to next week. We will get to all of that coming up shortly here on the PHP Network. But first, Prowlers and Hat-Tricks tied up at 2 apiece. We will take a quick timeout.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
obviously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. They're cleaning up the Chuck-a-Pucks here at Danbury Ice Arena. It's the Prowlers and Hat Tricks tied up at 2 goals apiece. Will Wiggleman right here with you on the PHP Network. Boy, that was a heck of a second period. Prowlers got into penalty trouble early, and the Hat Tricks made them pay. Port Huron came in with a 1-0 lead, but a 5-on-3 goal by Josh LaBelle, followed a minute and 17 seconds later by Noah Robinson. Made it a 2-1 lead for Danbury. Prowlers got that back on a power play goal of their own that right now is being credited to Austin Federley. I believe it should correctly go to Matt Graham. That's not something they're worried about currently at the moment, but that I believe that should be Matt Graham's goal. But either way, made it 2 apiece. Federley thought he had one that was definitely going to be his. But the referees reviewed it. Hat Tricks may have challenged. Not sure if it was the Hat Tricks or the referees that initiated the challenge. And the ruling was goaltender interference, as Matt Graham came across the top of the crease. And obviously, I don't get to see that overhead angle. I don't have a great angle to look at that one. But from my vantage point, it looked like Connor McCullum was outside of his goal crease. And if you're outside the goal crease and you get bumped a little bit, that happens. That's not a penalty. Plus, I thought McCullum also had time to reset, but referees disagree on both accounts, and they call that goal back. Prowlers were unable to get a power play goal through the rest of that man advantage, and it stays 2-2, same as it was last night at the start of period number 3. But Prowlers don't really have that overwhelming momentum right now that they had at the end of the second last night. This is a much more even game. Port Huron had the shots advantage in that second period, 12-10. Take a look at the stats from the whole game so far. They're up 22-21 in shots on goal. And that already for the Hat Tricks, more shots on goal than they had in the entire game last night. Oh, Danbury, or almost as many as they had in the entire game last night. Hat Tricks had 26 all game last night. They're up to 21 through 40 minutes of play here. But still 20 left to go and a chance for both sides to come out with the victory. But I mentioned those power plays. 2 for 3 for the Hat Tricks now. 1 for 3 now for the Prowlers, as Danbury went 2 for 2 in that second period. Prowlers 1 for 2 in the middle frame. The stakes, well, season on the line for one side. Hat Tricks trying to keep their series alive and get themselves to tomorrow, Easter Sunday, for a winner-take-all Game 3. Prowlers with a chance to win their first playoff series in 7 years. Those are your stakes. Pretty lofty here in Danbury. Both teams will certainly put it all on the line here in period number 3 as they try and pick up the victory in game number 2, a critical one for both sides. we will take a timeout here on the PHP Network. Going to be a bit of a long intermission here in Danbury, so stick with us. And when we come back, we'll take a look at where this series may be headed, the possibility of a Game 3, what that would look like. We'll also look at the scores from around the FPHL. We will do it all next, right here on the PHP Network.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should have just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Back here in Danbury, Prowlers and Hat Tricks getting set for what could be a final period of this series. Port Huron certainly hoping it is, as this one is tied up at 2 apiece. Prowlers with the 1-0 series lead, and they can end it with a win here tonight. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thank you again for tuning in to tonight's game. But of course, this one not the only one going on around the FPHL. All 4 series are in action tonight. All 4 series up for grabs tonight. At least all of them can be ended by at least one team involved in them. And in just a moment, we will get you to the out-of-town scores. 2 series have gone final. 2 games have gone final. And we start with the Binghamton Black Bears, who shut out the Watertown Wolves 4-0. Connor McAnanima only had to make 15 saves. CJ Stubbs and Blake Tosto finished with a goal and an assist apiece. And the Black Bears continue their playoff run as they look to defend their Commissioner's Cup championship. They sweep that series 2-0. And they will take on the winner of this one, the Prowlers or the Hat-Tricks, whoever wins this best-of-3 series. Black Bears will have home ice advantages. They are the top overall seed in the entire FPHL. But Binghamton is moving on. Who else is moving on? The Columbus River Dragons, who were down 2-0 through 20 minutes on the road in Athens. They tied it up at 2 through 40, and then with just over 4 to play, Alex Storjahan scores a power play goal, and the Dragons hit the empty net, and they get the win, ending Athens' inaugural season and upending the 2 seed in the Continental Division that was just a couple points away from getting the top spot and not facing the Dragons. Cody Wickline with 2 goals in the game gets the win. Trevor Babin made 30 saves between the pipes. Columbus wins that series 2-1, taking the winner-take-all 3rd game on the road here tonight. So their ticket is punched. Carolina Thunderbirds' ticket is nearly there. Under 5 to play in regulation. They are up now 4-1 on the Blue Ridge Bobcats, despite the Bobcats outshooting the Thunderbirds 39-28 at this point in the game. But Boris Babick has stood tall for the Thunderbirds. Carolina looks like they could be off with a sweep. So there is certainly the potential that this is the only series going on tomorrow, unless the Bobcats do something insane. This could be the only series going on tomorrow. Prowlers hope it is not, as they will try to finish off the Danbury Hat-Tricks here tonight. But if it does go to tomorrow, Easter Sunday, that will be a 5 o'clock puck drop for all the marbles. An afternoon game. And round 2, a date with the Binghamton Black Bears would be the prize for whoever wins that game. Prowlers hoping that they can just get it done here tonight and move on to Binghamton. We will take one more timeout, and when we come back, 3rd period action right here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Back here at Danbury Ice Arena, Prowlers and Hat-Tricks still a few minutes away from exiting the locker room and stepping out onto the ice for period number 3. Biggest period of the year for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. And for the Prowlers, a chance to shake off history and shake off what's been a reputation of not being able to get past that first round. It's been 7 years and 5 series with the Carolina Thunderbirds. Since the Prowlers last moved on in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs, they have never won a quarterfinal series, as the last time Port Huron won a playoff series, there were only 4 teams in the dance. So that was a semifinal that they defeated the Danville Dashers. And tonight, they try and erase all that and start the new era of Prowler success. And if they do get the win again, they will have to take down the defending Commissioner's Cup champs, Binghamton Black Bears, who finished off the Watertown Wolves just a few minutes ago. And we will see if Prowlers can be successful in that quest. Third periods in this series between these two teams all year long have been insane. You go all the way back to when these teams matched up in Port Huron back on February the 14th. That was a close game entering the third. Hat-Tricks blew it open and got the win. Then you get the 3 matchups here in Danbury. February the 22nd, Prowlers came in with a 4-1 lead into the third. Hat-Tricks tied it twice in that third period. Ended up winning the game in a shootout. And then you go to the following weekend. Prowlers trailed 2-1 entering the third. On the final day of February, they battled back and got an overtime win. And then the following night, Prowlers were down 2-0 entering the third. First day of March, and Port Huron battled back to send it to overtime, but it was Danbury who got the victory that night. And of course, you go to last night, Prowlers and Hat-Tricks enter the third tied at 2. Port Huron scores 4 times in the third to pull out what would eventually be a 6-3 victory. So who comes out with the good third period tonight? We take one more look at the stats from this game so far. Again, very, very tight. Power plays came into play during that second period. Prowlers almost took the lead on a power play goal of their own after the Hat-Tricks were able to take the lead with 2 power play goals. That goal was called back. Prowlers did get a power play goal to even the score at 2, and that is where we sit. As teams start to enter the ice here, we take one last look at our PHP Network trivia question. Want to know about the last time a team from Port Huron and a team from Danbury matched up in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs, or in any playoffs, so it was the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Want to know what was that team from Danbury called? I see a banner here to my left honoring that team with the most points in the regular season, but not a Commissioner's Cup, because the Danbury Titans fell to the Port Huron Prowlers in the 2016 Commissioner's Cup final. That, of course, the Prowlers' inaugural season. Connor McCullum stretching out in the goal crease down to our left. He has stopped 20 of 22 Prowler shots, while Terry Nusiainen just as good in the goal crease to our right. 19 saves on 21 hat-trick shots. This is it. Johnny Ruiz and Matt Graham for the biggest period of both teams' seasons. And we are underway in the Scholes Family McDonald's third period. Josh LaBelle. Long lead pass tipped along. Alex Johnson chased by Ruiz. Sent it all the way out, knocked down by Millette. Here comes Lockney with a shot off the stick of LaBelle. And it bounces around. Lockney behind the net, tried to wrap it out in front. And it couldn't get it to go. Oregon shot blocked by Ratcliffe. And out of the zone. McCullum was not on his post. Lucas Lockney, I think he tried to pick up that puck and wrap it. But a hat trick came back to knock it away. Here comes Fox back in for Port Huron. Fox couldn't drag it through Bedard. Price backs him up. Price steps off the wall, but couldn't bring the puck with him. This one sent all the way down by Frolov, and icing waved off. Oregon back for it, off the glass, comes all the way down, and no icing this direction either. Abdella, reverse for Gonzalez. Took a hit from Scantleberry, puck underneath them. Scantleberry tied up now with Gonzalez again. Abdella and Chartrand trying to muscle their way towards the pile. Vasiliev watching and digging for that puck. Pops out to the near side. Scantleberry hands it off to Heinzel moving down the boards. Behind the net, Chartrand tried to go to Bussell. That was broken up. Scantleberry knocked down. Heinzel a shot! Kicked off of McCullum's pad. Heinzel pinches in. And then spun around behind the net. Prowlers still in the offensive zone as Chartrand tried to cycle it back this direction. Came to Gonzalez. Hat-trick's able to clear their zone. Great shift from the Bussell line as both teams get changes. Simmons, Fisher on for Graham, able to touch it in. Heads after it with Pamaleon. Moved over to the near side. Robinson throws the reverse hit into Millette. Robinson juggled. Here comes Lockney. Splits the D off the post. Lucas Lockney got through and he beat McCullum but not the iron. We stay tied at 2 as Millette looks to turn it back up ice. Millette, a little shimmy shake, hands off for Johnson. Missed Graham with that pass. Comes in on McCullum off the carom from the board, so no icing instead. An offensive zone faceoff for the Prowlers. Boy, if you want one player on that Prowler bench in on a one-on-one, it might be Lucas Lockney. He had it, and he had McCullum to the blocker's side. But off the post it goes. And we stay tied up at 2 goals apiece. Fox and Ruiz in for this face-off. Fox won it back. Price tried to send it down and around. Federley let it go through. LaBelle first out behind the net. Harwell off the glass out of the zone. And Federley knocked down Ratcliffe with a good solid check. Poked along, Ruiz for Bedard. Gets the red line. Tried to chip it off the boards, but got a little too much air under it, and he sent it right to the Prowler bench. .316 gone in period number 3. We have the iron rung so far. Down to our left. Still tied up at 2. Ruiz and Bussell lined up for this faceoff. Bussell's been asked to leave. Be Chartrand instead. Ruiz able to win it back clean. Here's LaBelle. Long lead pass, tipped in. Nuciani comes all the way out to play it, but Heinzel took down Ruiz. A holding penalty coming up, and a red-hot Hat-Trick's power play gets its 4th chance of the game. That loose puck ended up in the Prowlers' end, and Adam Heinzel had to do what he had to do to keep Johnny Ruiz from going in all alone. That's certainly a penalty, and it's certainly a big one, as the Hat-Tricks are 2 for 3 on the man advantage so far tonight. Matt Graham off the boards all the way down. They start the Let's Go Hat-Tricks chants here at Danbury Ice Arena. Harwell steps in. Chasing back after that puck. Simmons Fisher closed him off and Oregon clears. 25 seconds gone in a nervous penalty for Adam Heinzel. LaBelle up to Harwell. Trying to get around Simmons Fisher, and the Prowlers able to bat it out. That was Lockhart. Danbury to switch up the power play unit here. Minute 10 left on the man advantage as Pamelayan ran into Vasiliev and has to curl back. Pamelayan drops it off. Van Durkin tossed it in, went to head after it. Johnson beats him there. Van Durkin challenged by Price. Price trying to settle down that bouncing puck. Now Woolley able to, and he keeps it in the zone. Vasiliev, Pamelayan with a lane in front. Tipped wide by Van Durkin. Coming down the back door. Prowlers get the clear. Gleb Van Durkin just touched it wide. 30 seconds left to go on the Hat-Tricks power play as Chartrand pokes it off of Vasiliev's stick. A post and a missed empty net. 5 minutes gone in period 3. We stay tied. Van Durkin try to drop it off for Abdella. Go D to D to Pamelayan. Great work by Daniel Chartrand to keep the Hat-Tricks from moving up ice for a while. Van Durkin drops it off. Vasiliev moves around. Chartrand is shot. He scores! Just as the penalty expired, Alexander Vasiliev stepped over the blue line and ripped the shot home, and the Hat-Tricks are back in front. First goal of the playoffs for the 35-year-old KHL veteran Vasiliev. And Port Huron now needs to play from behind. That was 1 second after the penalty expired, so it will be a 5-on-5 goal. After Chartrand did such great work to keep the Hat-Tricks from moving up ice, he ends up blowing a tire, and Vasiliev got the lane. And here we are with Danbury up a goal. Reggie Millette throws on the brakes, floats it all the way across. Lockhart up the far side boards. Abdella able to smack it around. Kyle Gonzalez and Xavier Abdella get the assist. Lockhart had some trouble with it. Able to keep it away from Anderson for a moment. Here is Anderson, and he couldn't get that one to go. Don't think he got it on target. Millette trying to work up through Hullaby. Robinson, cross-ice feed to Anderson. Oregon hustled off the bench to meet him. Both teams finishing up changes. Two-line pass, Chartrand able to tip it in. Here's Scantleberry, whacks on it on the backhand. McCullum right there with the pad down. Parsons on for Scantleberry, tips it in behind the net. Karam's out to the near side, Pamelayan for LaBelle, stolen. Bussell trying to wrap it out in front, puck loose. That's kicked around. Here come the Hat-Tricks. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Ruiz on the left wing. Bussell gets back to even things up. Ruiz on the backhand, saved by Nusiainen. And the net has come off its moorings. We will take a timeout. Alexander Vasiliev has given the Hat-Tricks a 3-2 lead with lots of time left in period 3. You are watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Back here in Danbury, a 3-2 Hat-Tricks lead. Early stages of period 3, and Danbury fighting for its season right now. Van Durkin with a sharp angle shot. Stopped by Nusiainen again. That net comes off its moorings. This time only just slightly. Again, here in Danbury, they do not have the pegs drilled in to the ice like they do at McMorran Place and some other buildings around the league. They just have heavy pegs that are chopped into the ice as much as possible with a cleat on the bottom. Caused a little bit of trouble at times for sure, as Abdella gets this one deep. Came off the back wall, and Nusiainen was alert to keep that one away from the front of the net. Here comes Chartrand, as Bussell and Van Durkin got tangled up in the neutral zone behind the play. Chartrand finishes his hit on Gonzalez. Scantleberry hunting on the forecheck. Frolov able to toss it out. Heinzel had it go off his back, and Simmons Fisher tapped it to his defense partner. Then Fox lays down Gleb Van Durkin. Here's Scantleberry working on the outside on LaBelle. Scantleberry on his backhand. Spins in the corner, gets to the front, he's knocked down. Puck is loose, and they blow it dead with that puck still loose in the blue paint. And now things boiling over between Fox and Abdella. Boy, and the number of times the Prowlers have been the victims of quick whistles or long whistles, either this year in the playoffs, last year in the playoffs. Certainly has to be frustrating there on the Port Huron bench. That puck was loose right next to Connor McCullum. And in the near side corner, referee blew it dead. And the Danbury fans are chanting at the referees. What they don't seem to know is that their team benefited from a quick whistle from the ref. Now Fox and Frolov were getting into it. Face-off is coming outside of the Danbury end. Actually, no, they will keep it inside the zone, pardon me. Prowlers have their top line out there on the ice. McCullum set to go. Face off to his left. Anderson and Graham line up. Sits there at the dot, and Millette able to get to the point. Lockhart sent it through off a stick. Millette couldn't bring in that pass from Graham. Millette cycles it down. LaBelle able to get it away from Graham, and here comes big Josh LaBelle, the defenseman, starting the rush. Over to Hullaby, and Hat-Tricks offside at the line as Hullaby fumbled it a bit right as he entered Prowler territory. Face off. In front of the Port Huron bench, they get Federley, Price, and Scantleberry. Bit of a mixed line out there right now. Federley able to win it back. Here's Organ. Over to Simmons Fisher. Lead pass. Kicked around. And it comes to LaBelle. Indirect feed. Looking for Anderson. Tries to settle it down. Price finishes his check. Puck ended up getting batted into the Hat-Tricks bench. 11:45 left to go in regulation. Hat-Tricks up by a goal. Federley and Ruiz, the two number 19s and the two captains on the draw. Here comes Harwell with Ruiz. Harwell turns the corner off of Nusiainen. And as the Prowlers are getting set to go the other direction, the net came off again. I don't believe this is Valtteri Nusiainen's fault. I mean, if you had those pegs drilled in, then I don't believe that we would have the issue this number of times. They're not giving New Sea a delay of game penalty, so I believe the referees do recognize that. But surely at some point the Hat-Tricks are going to start asking why there is no delay of game penalty for the net coming off. Federley and Ruiz again on the face-off here. One back by Ruiz. LaBelle got it back deep. Ratcliffe ties up with Simmons-Fisher. Organ up the near side boards. Scantleberry got it out, but it was behind a couple of his teammates. Sent right back in, and New Sea holds on for a whistle and a face-off, and Harwell and Organ get together. Those two having a conversation. Now Bedard gets involved. Simmons-Fisher bringing his teammate to the bench. Face-off will still be in the Prowlers' end here. Actually, no, they take it out. And that is a call that goes the Prowlers' way. Ruiz and Graham on this face-off. Lockhart fanned on the first pass attempt. He's back on it. Got it up to Millette. Try to float it through in Graham's direction. He and Ruiz after it. Graham wins the puck. Graham back pass in front off of Ruiz's stick. Ratcliffe tossed it out. LaBelle, D to Bedard. Up towards Ratcliffe, he tips it in, and Danbury gets a change. Johnson works up. Indirect pass, hit a couple of sticks. Lockney took a hard hit. Graham hustling after that puck. He gets it back to Parsons. Prowlers look to turn it back up. Parsons wraps it all the way around. Price gets up to it on the other side. Chartrand cycled around. Van Durkin couldn't pitchfork it along. Goes around to the far side. Vasiliev, who has the go-ahead goal here in period 3. Parsons again at the red line. Sent it off the back wall. Himalayan taking a look, in no hurry. So we approach the halfway point of period 3. Hat-Tricks with the only goal in the third. They have a 3-2 lead with their season on the line. Let's go Hat-Tricks chant starting from the fans here at Danbury Ice Arena. As Gonzalez comes back for it. Hullaby able to bounce it out to Robinson. Sends it across. Anderson alone. No Seinen shuts him down. Comes back out in front and pushed wide by Robinson. Huge save for Valtteri Nusiainen to keep it a 1-goal game. Johnson on his backhand. Saucers it out of the zone. Bussell scoops it up. Soft toss in. Gonzalez able to keep it moving along. Anderson lost the handle. Millette comes in to grab the puck, but Anderson took it back. Here's Anderson, had a stick lifted by Millette. LaBelle sent a pass over to Harwell, who's fresh off the bench. Didn't get much on the pass, but got the job done. Parsons up to Millette. Has James with him. As Millette enters the offensive zone, floats it to Luke James, sent it right through the crease. Johnson on it on the other side. Johnson behind the net to James. Back to Johnson, takes a look, his rising shot knocked down by McCullum. Puck is loose, and it's poked out of the zone by Ratcliffe. Johnson up for Graham. Works his way in, gets back to it. Graham took a stumble behind the net. That gave Bedard a chance to put him into the boards. James cycles it back deep. Harwell overskated it. Van Durkin gets it out. Simmons-Fisher back for it. Long lead pass. Chartrand tips it in. And now McCullum. Behind his own net, off to LaBelle. Lead pass. And now Chartrand puts it back in. tipped along. Simmons Fisher for Heinzel. As the Prowlers able to keep a rush from going in to their end. 12 minutes gone in this period, only one shot on net, and it has found the back of the net belonging to Alexander Vasilyev. Or pardon me, shot's 8-4. What is wrong with me? Frolov. That's the blue line. Steps around Organ, but couldn't push it on net as he fanned. Frolov back on it. Ooh, tried to send it across. Mo Valley pinches in to get it back deep. Shots 8-4 hat tricks in this third period. They have the only goal. Ryan Parsons wheels his way up all by himself with his team in the midst of a change. Sent it all the way around. Price, fresh off the bench, gets to it on the other side, but couldn't poke it to the slot where Fox was all by himself. Fox to Federley, to the top, Parsons, down low, Price got a touch on it, and McCullum swept it away with the goal stick. Price working on Mavali, who took the puck, and now Hullaby up with it. Cross corner dump, Lockhart, chased by Robinson, comes right back to Brett Lockhart. Got through Price. As the Prowlers make a change, Hullaby retreats into his own zone. 6.5 to go in period 3. Hat tricks still up by a goal. Abdella is satisfied with continuing to waste time. Ruiz, long lead pass, came all the way through. That was deflected in, so no icing. Comes back out of the zone. Millette couldn't get through Ruiz. Ruiz outside shot, scooped up and held by Valtteri Nusiainen. We will take a break. A tick under 6 to go in period 3, and the Hat Tricks leading by a goal. You are watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
EDA, providing local business support for over 70 years. And helping to boost our region's workforce, retain and attract talent. Working to grow the local economy and the flow of money into our community to help businesses be profitable and successful. Focused on improving the region's economic strength and quality of life for residents. To learn more about the EDA of St. Clair County, visit edascc.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here in Danbury, tick under 6 left to go. The Prowlers need a goal if they are to come back and take this game and the series. Alexander Vasilyev has the only goal of period number 3 so far. And could Port Huron find a way here tonight? We shall see. Face-off will be deep in the Prowlers' end. Off the face-off. Sent on goal, and another glove save for Valtteri Nusiainen. He'll hang on again, and we'll get another face-off from the same spot to his right. Off this draw, Ruiz down for Harwell, gives it back. Ruiz centered, Ratcliffe had to kick off his skate. Here's Millette firing his way in. Millette behind the net, and Harwell came back to close him off, but left the puck behind. Gonzalez up the near side. Johnson pinches in, but Ratcliffe able to get it out. 2-on-1 for the Hat Tricks. Harwell had some trouble with it, and Lockhart able to knock it away. Ruiz makes a move, and Lockhart came back to knock it away as Lockney was defending Johnny Ruiz. Prowlers escape there, but they still need a goal. We approach 5 minutes left to go in regulation. LaBelle, right up the gut. Able to toss it in. Organ claps it up the near side. Woolley tried to pass across. That kicked off of Van Durken's skate. Organ off the boards this time. Van Durken kept it alive. Third time's the charm for Tim Organ. Gets it out. Clapped right back in. Simmons Fisher behind his own net. Over to Organ. Off the boards, out of the zone. Here come the Prowlers. Scantlebury to the offensive zone. Tries a shot from the outside. That was blocked by a stick. Simmons Fisher keeps it deep. Scantlebury back pass in front. Right on the stick of Gleb Van Durken. There is Van Durken working on Federley, who knocked it right off his stick. And then Simmons Fisher came in with a hard hit on Van Durken. Crowd want a penalty they won't get. They will not get the retaliation either. Referees letting them play. James tried to pull it out in front. Federley lifting a stick. James able to knock the puck away momentarily. Van Durken clears the zone. Under 4 to go. Parsons on to Bussell. He tips it in. James and Movalli head after it together. Two guys who were not in the lineup last night, getting a chance here tonight. Pamaleon lofted it on. Here's Hullaby trying to catch back up to it. It was knocked down by a high stick of Hullaby, so he was not allowed to be the next one to touch it. That's the reason for the whistle, and we will get a timeout here. 3:34 left to go in regulation. This is the Commissioner's Cup playoffs, presented by Proper 12 Irish Whiskey.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Back here in Danbury, Alex Johnson is the only one in the penalty box right now, but nothing is up on the board. So Johnson may have gotten a misconduct here. At the end of that play, he ran into Hullaby and went down. And Alex Johnson may have gotten an unsportsmanlike misconduct out of that. And that might be the reason for him sitting in the box. And indeed he did. 10 minutes for abuse of officials, officially the call. So Johnson will not be available as the Prowlers try and come back, and now Ratcliffe and Scantlebury getting into it. Welcome everybody into the PHP Network YouTube channel. 662 people here tuning in. That's the most that I think I've ever seen here. So thank you so much for joining us, no matter who you root for. This has been a great game so far. Prowlers trying to get the tying goal here. Scantlebury spinning on Abdella. Chartrand pulls it out. Tried to turn it on net, blocked by a stick. Bussell on goal, just pushed it wide. Came out of the zone, but may have hit somebody on the Danbury bench, so the Prowlers will get an offensive zone face-off here with 3:07 to go. Harwell and Scantlebury tied up. And now more conversations now between Ratcliffe and Chartrand. Face-off coming deep in Danbury territory. A critical one in this game. Top line out for the Prowlers. Graham will draw against Ruiz. Hat-tricks playing for their playoff lives. Prowlers trying to move on to round 2. Off this face-off, LaBelle circles the net. Off the boards, out of the zone, comes all the way down. And an icing against Josh LaBelle and the Hat-tricks as Tim Organ won the race for icing. Face-off will come all the way back down. Fans getting loud. Let's go Hat-tricks chants, prevalent. Graham and Ruiz set for this face-off. Graham wins it back. Federley tried to step up. Harwell chipped it past him. Here comes Harwell. Oregon hustling to cut him off. Harwell tried to stuff it and couldn't do it. Valtteri Nusiainen stood his ground. Stays a 1-goal game. Harwell across to Bedard. Able to toss it in. Here's Austin Federley. Off the boards. Up to Millette. Tried to float it through for Lockney, who was too far in front of him. Van Durkin sent it down behind the cage. Vasiliev swoops in. Centered it right to Lucas Lockney. And here comes Millette. Off his stick, and then Vasiliev knocked down by Matt Graham behind the play. And Matt Graham is getting a penalty here. And he will get the only call. Behind the play. Graham and Vasiliev were tangled up. Vasiliev went down. And Matt Graham is in the box. And the Hat-tricks with a chance here on the man advantage to seal the deal, or at least take off the rest of this clock. And if anybody didn't like the refereeing in that chat watching our live stream tonight, they certainly won't like that. I didn't really see the play. I just saw Vasiliev go down and chuck his glove. Chris Paulin, Prowlers assistant coach, wants an explanation. And now there's a disturbance on the Hat-tricks bench. Chris Paulin having a chat with one of the referees, Corey Anderson, there as well on the Hat-tricks side. But Daniel Chartrand alerted the referee to some disturbance over on the benches. Nothing comes of it. And Matt Graham, 2 minutes for holding is the call. And if the Prowlers are going to tie this game, they will most likely have to do it with a shorthanded goal. Hat-tricks power play 2 for 4 in this game. Down behind the net, it's Ruiz. LaBelle up top. Of course, their third goal came just a second after a power play expires. The centering feed got just past Hullaby. Hullaby around towards Ruiz. Harwell chased by Heinzel. Harwell one-hands it up top to Gonzalez. Sent it through, deflected, kick save by Nusiainen. LaBelle able to block it at the line. Bussell hustling after the loose puck. Bussell has it. Price shoots, save by McCullum. A great short-handed opportunity for the Prowlers, and Connor McCullum comes up with his biggest save of the night. Minute 20 left to go. This Hat-tricks power play will go until there are 15 seconds to go in the game. And they are happy to just hang out behind their own net. Here comes Abdella now. Woolley works in, his shot off the back glass. Chartrand off the boards, out of the zone. Vasiliev. So we hit the final minute of game 2. Hat-tricks looked like they may have had too many men on the ice. Prowlers were hoping for it. They don't get the call. Chartrand sent it through. That hit Abdella up high. Ended up off the back glass. 45 seconds left to go. They're calling Valtteri Nusiainen to the bench. Now the Hat-tricks get to the puck. So he has to go back. Now he's up to the bench. Extra attacker on for the Prowlers, but it's 5-on-5 with the penalty. Chartrand tried to sweep it on net, couldn't do it. Price. Surrounded, LaBelle gets it up the boards and out of the zone. 20 seconds left to go. Graham about to step back out. Vasiliev sends it towards the empty net. Van Durken the first one there, and he'll tuck it. We are going to a game 3. Penalties, the big issue for the Prowlers tonight. That one will be a 5-on-5 goal, though, for Gleb Van Durken. His first goal of the playoffs. Looks like the hat-tricks stay alive for one more day. And we will have a series-deciding Game 3 tomorrow night here from Danbury. Conversation still going on here as we get set for possibly the final puck drop of this game. Prowlers need to get a fifth out there, and they do. 10 seconds left. As Gleb Van Durken sealed the deal, and Danbury stays alive. We are getting a series-deciding game number 3, but not before some fisticuffs at the end. Everybody on the ice involved. Roussel trying to get after Anderson. Parsons is tied up with Abdella. Abdella just chucked Parsons' helmet towards the Prowler net. Those two wrestle each other to the ice. Parsons still has Abdella in the headlock. LaBelle and Millette barking at each other. We will have one more game in this series. A series-deciding Game 3. And it will be tomorrow night. We will have it for you here on the PHP Network. 5 o'clock puck drop on Easter Sunday. The Hat-Tricks win it tonight by a final of 4-2. And we are still not done at center ice. Parsons comes over with a whack for Hullaby. Simmons-Fisher with a conversation. Anderson trying to direct the Prowlers to their bench and to their locker room. The Hat-Tricks look to come out and celebrate. They stay alive for one more day. And the Prowlers, like last year, will have to go into a series-deciding Game 3 on the road to try and win the playoff series. Again, that will be tomorrow night, 5 p.m. puck drop here on the PHP Network. And a 4:45 pregame show. Throw it on at your Easter dinner. It should be a good one. But for right now, postgame show is next.
Seriously, not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it! I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Back here in Danbury, 4-2 your final. The Hat Tricks take game number 2 of this Commissioner's Cup first round series. Time now to go back through this one goal by goal. And we start in the first period with Tucker Scantleberry getting a goal right off the face-off. Jamie Bussell won it back. Scantleberry ripped it home. That is tonight's proper 12 shot of the night. Tucker Scantleberry with that rip made a 1-0 game. Then in the second, the penalty trouble started. Prowlers went down on a 5-on-3 as the Hat Tricks worked the 2-man advantage. You get a goal from Josh LaBelle, and then a minute 17 seconds later, when it was back to 5-on-4, Noah Robinson gave the Hat Tricks a 2-1 lead. Prowlers power play responded though, just past the midway point of that second period. The goal is currently being given to Austin Federle. Looks like that's how it will stay. So Federle gets his first career goal in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. And Federle is our Gunther Graphics player of the game. Gunther Graphics, your go-to guy for logos, websites, and branding. It was 2-2 at that point. And then a few minutes later, Federle scored again on the power play. But wait, they decide to review it. And they rule goaltender interference. And the Hat Tricks survive, and the Prowlers do not take the lead. So with that call, a goal taken off the board, it stayed 2-2 heading into the third period. Danbury had a power play a second after it expired. Alexander Vasiliev with the game-winning goal, able to put a long shot home. That was the only goal of the third until Gleb Van Durken hit the empty net. And Danbury, their backs against the wall, live to fight another day. So we take a look at the final stats from this one. Hat Tricks outshot the Prowlers 33-28, outscored them 2-1 on the man advantages. And the Prowlers certainly need to clean things up penalty-wise. Talk with Prowlers assistant coach Chris Paulin and Gunther Graphics player of the game Austin Federle about those things. Tomorrow, a do or die game number 3. When we come back, we take a look at the out-of-town scores. Every other series is over. We'll show you how it was done. So stick it right here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Will Wiggleman back one final time to Danbury Ice Arena. Hat tricks stave off elimination. We get a winner-take-all game number 3 tomorrow night at 5 p.m. right here in this building. But before we close things out, let's take a look at the series that did end tonight. Start with the Binghamton Black Bears, who sweep the Watertown Wolves 3rd straight year. At the Black Bears and Wolves have matched up in the first round. 3rd straight year, the Black Bears have taken that series. 4-0 the final tonight in Binghamton, as the Bears will move on to round number 2 and continue their Commissioner's Cup title defense. Connor McAdama only had to make 15 saves in the victory, while CJ Stubbs and Blake Tosto each got a goal and an assist apiece. Columbus takes down Athens on the road in the winner-take-all game number 3. 4-2 the final. The Lobsters had a 2-0 lead after the first period, but the Dragons scored the next 4 goals, including the empty netter, and the game winner from Alex Storjahan. That came with just over 4 minutes to go in regulation. Dragons headed to round number 2, where they'll face off once again against the Carolina Thunderbirds, as Boris Babick made 43 saves tonight in Winston-Salem to help the Thunderbirds sweep the Blue Ridge Bobcats. So 2 inaugural seasons are ended here tonight, and teams that have been in the league for a little while get to continue on, and that will be the case as well in this series. But will it be a team that's celebrating 10 years or a team that's celebrating 5? We will find out tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Prowlers and Hat Tricks do it one last time in this series, and how appropriate. These two teams have to get a winner-take-all to decide it. 5 p.m. puck drop and a 4:45 pregame show. You won't want to miss it here on the PHP Network. For now, I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow evening for some more exciting playoff hockey.